Kimu SDC with you here today, and I'm gonna start it off with a PLH. Peace, love, and happiness with you all day, every day. Now today, I have some good topics for you, in which we're gonna discuss the 10 things that we should do, but we don't do on an everyday basis. Number one, eat a plant-based diet. I know that throughout time, we started to develop a meat and starch-based diet in which we kind of put vegetables and fruits on the back burner. And those are the foods that actually give us the most nutrients, the best nutrients that we need, so that way we can survive in this harsh world. Now I know when I began to start my vegan journey and eating raw foods and eating a Kemetic diet, I began to feel a lot better, because the body, every 35 days, our cells repair themselves and reproduce based on what we put in our body. So if we're putting junk food, processed food, meats into our body on an everyday basis, our cells reproduce from that. As they say, you are what you eat. So we got to make sure that we put in those plants in our body, so that way we get the right nutrients, the primary nutrients, the best nutrients. As they say, health is wealth. 7-day vegan challenge. Definitely have to promote that. But we got to make sure that we start getting on a plant-based diet, so that way we get more energy. I know when I began to go on this path to veganism and getting into raw foods, I began to get a lot more energy. And getting a lot more energy, I was able to surpass limits that I didn't even know I could. I know when I was on a meat and starch-based diet, processed foods, junk foods, I would play 4 hours of basketball, but I would feel dead tired afterwards, to the point where I was about to pass out. But then when I got on a plant-based diet, I was able to play those 4 hours of basketball and still be able to continue to play on. When I played basketball, I was outlasting everybody that was on the court. And it came to a point where when I was in the league, I would play the entire game because I had the energy. Not because I was necessarily fit, but because I had the energy. That those plants were always giving me the energy that I needed. And so you also got to make sure that you get those plants in, because they contain water, unlike most of the other foods. And now that brings us to our second topic, and that is drinking at least 1 gallon of water every day. Definitely got to say, if you're going to drink any water, drink some alkaline water. Has a pH of between 9 and 10, which will help alkalize the body. Our body is supposed to be in an alkaline state, not in an acidic state where we have these meats and we begin to go through acidosis, which creates pus and puts our body in a constant state of disease or dis-ease, whichever way you want to call it. But drinking that 1 gallon of water allows your body to work more efficiently. It allows the muscles to be able to get that nice good stretch in, and work out on a more efficient basis, hydrate the body. We're 70% water, so why don't we replenish those fluids? I don't know why people choose not to. I've actually ran into people, family members, friends, strangers, who don't even drink a half a gallon of water a day, but they'll drink more juice and soda. So try to get into the habit of consuming a gallon of water. And just drinking the water itself is more beneficial, because you'll definitely get that water in on an everyday basis, that gallon. And then whatever else you have, you just have excess water. Can't have excess water unless you're just drinking what you shouldn't be. And if everybody who knows me, that I hang around, it's because I drink at least a gallon of water a day. They know I'm going to the bathroom all the time. So, hey, going to the bathroom is never an issue. And I hope it's not an issue for you. But that brings us to our next topic. And that topic is eating foods that are in season. This becomes very important because we are people who are in tune with the earth. We come from the earth, and therefore, being in tune with the earth, we shall be. And in doing so, and we should be eating foods that are in season. I know when I was eating strawberries out of season, they tasted disgusting. They didn't last long. Nothing really lasts long when they're out of season. Why? Because of the fact that the soil is not optimal at that point to be giving those fruits and vegetables the nutrients that they need. The fruits and vegetables aren't able to hold those nutrients as they would when they are in season. And therefore that goes to the nutrients that we get in our body. If the food is not holding in that nutrients, then we're not going to get that nutrient. So we should make sure that we're getting the optimal nutrients, so that way we can live long, stress-free, disease-free lives. And once again, 7-Day Vegan Challenge. We'll always be living great, be feeling great. I know that when I began to eat foods that are in season, I definitely saw a change. It seems something so minute to be eating things in season, but it actually has a great benefit to our life because of the nutrients that we would get from it. Now that takes us to our fourth topic, and that's getting at least, not maximum, at least 10 minutes of sunshine a day. This is important because sunshine, number one, is nothing but a ball of energy. It is a ball of energy that shines nothing but great positive energy through the Earth's through all the planets, atmospheres, whatever spheres they have on an everyday basis. So we got to make sure that we utilize that sun. Get that vitamin D. Gives us the energy. Get that melatonin up. And decalcifying and opening your third eye, you want to get that sun. You want to get those sun rays. Find the sun. I know it's hard in more northern places. Sun's not up as long as more southern places. So it gets a little harder. So you got to try to get in when you can. Go sun gazing. I go sun gazing. I go on walks. Make sure I get that sun. Finding that sun. Sun's out the window, by the way. Looking real beautiful. But we got to make sure that we get that sun. The importance of melatonin is it helps with our sleep cycle. Usually our sleep cycle is thrown off because we're either in a dim setting all day, we're sitting behind a computer, we're not getting that sunlight that we need. And when we don't get the sunlight that we need, it then begins to mess up our sleep cycles. And when we mess up our sleep cycles, we're not really in tune with ourselves, and it completely throws the body off. The body knows what it needs, and we go against what the body needs. So make sure you get that great sunlight, at least 10 minutes a day. Very important. Get that vitamin D, decalcify that pineal gland so we can see with these two eyes shut and just open up that third eye on an everyday basis. And then that brings us to the fifth thing, that is waking up at sunrise and winding down at sunset. It's the hardest thing to do. I know I'm not there yet, but I'm working towards it. Everything is nothing but a process. But this, allows our body to be optimal once again. When we are a solar cold people in which we operate based on the sun, that is a reason why daylight savings time exists today. So that way we can optimize the sun in the society that we live in. I know it's hard when you're going to bed at 10 o'clock because we have jobs and there's things that we have to get done after jobs. But just for an FYI, it is most optimal that we do things while the sun is up. And we wake up at sunrise, go to bed at sunset. So that way we can be balanced on an everyday basis. Also, going back to the melatonin, we'll be able to get our sleep cycles on. I know as these days get shorter, I am getting tired a little earlier because I've gotten myself to a point where my body is in tune with the sun. I wake up when the sun comes up. We both looking at ourselves, at each other eye to eye. I'm looking out the window and we sitting there smiling at each other, winking, making faces. We doing everything. We actually having a party. But then when the sun goes away, then I gotta get a sad face and say, "What's up, moon? Time to go to sleep." So try to make sure that you get on the cycle where you're getting up at sunrise, going to bed, or winding down at sunset. And now that brings us to the sixth topic. And that is fasting. Fasting is super, super duper important. It is important because it allows our body to regenerate, to recuperate from our daily tasks. When we work out, anybody who works out, we know that the most important time of the workout is not the active time. It is the dormant time, the recovery time. That is when muscle growth and muscle repair actually happens. That concept does not only work for our muscles, it works for the entire body. When we allow ourselves to actually fast, and fasting does include the sleep period. But it's the amount of fasting that we don't do. I know a lot of people, they have actual meals at 11 o'clock at night, which is a very unhealthy time. And that is because of the fact that you're probably going to wake up at some point in the next morning and your body hasn't recuperated. And I know that when I begin to fast on an everyday basis, I do a daily fast at least 12 hours. And then I do once a week, I do at least a 24-hour fast. And that allows my body to regenerate, recuperate, get all the waste out of my system. So that way, when I go back to eating, I can get a good nutrition, have not so much waste, feel better, feel motivated all day, every day. So try to get that fast on. Super important. Also do a seasonal fast, a 3-day seasonal fast, just so that I can, whatever toxins that I haven't gotten rid of, I get those out of my body. It takes 3 days for everything to get out of your system. I feel great. But I would do that under discretion. So fast daily, at least 12 hours. And then that takes us to the next topic, number 7. And that is physical activity in the morning. We got to make sure that we do our physical activity in the morning. Super unhealthy to do it at night, specifically because of the reason that when we get up, between the hours that we get up and 12 o'clock, those are where our energy is on an incline. So, of course, you want to get your body active, super active, when we're on the incline. Now, doing that physical activity in the morning, it helps our brain because it motivates our brain to do the rest of the things that we have to do throughout the day. Once 12 o'clock hits, that is our the human body's peak time in which our energy begins to decline. And then by 5 o'clock, our energy is, if not all the way, almost depleted. That's why when you feel more tired around 5 o'clock, when you get home from work, you don't really feel like doing anything. That's why, because our body has used up all that energy from the time that we woke up, peak at 12, and then the rest of the day, it's on a decline. So, try to get your physical activity, try to get the hardest stuff out done in the morning. That way you stay motivated throughout the rest of the day. I know that when I get my meditation, my yoga, get my bulk workouts done in the morning, I feel great because I've accomplished things. I've accomplished the greatest things, the greatest feats throughout the day. And then smooth sail all the way to the point that I begin to wind down. So definitely get that physical activity done in the morning. That takes us to our 8th topic, and that is eating your heartiest meal between 12 and 2. This goes back to the last topic, number 7. Between 12 and 2 is the cycle time for our digestive system. When our digestive system is most active, we then begin to break down food at a much faster rate. Our metabolism is much higher at that point. That's why if you work out in the morning and then you have that great hearty meal to replenish all that protein and nutrients that you spent working out, you now have maximum energy. You even have more energy. Your metabolism is burning crazy. So that way, now you break down food at a much faster process between 12 and 2. That's when I have my heartiest meal. And anything after that, because I do intermittent fasting where I eat once a day so my body can rejuvenate, got all the great hormones going so my brain can think much clearly. You just have something light. You can, when it comes to dinner, have something light. You don't have to do super crazy cooking at that point because you've had your hearty meal and you feel great. So try to get that good hearty meal, them grains in, them oats in, them nuts, great protein in during that time, so that way optimal time for digestion and metabolism is going. So definitely do that. Now we have number 9. Number 9 is the most important thing that a lot of people forget to do, and that's live. Living is something that a lot of people don't do on a regular basis. Why? Because we're so caught up in this matrix, this physical world, working, and we don't follow the idea of living. We don't follow the idea of being a human being who we are. We're so focused on chasing that dollar rather than allowing ourselves to make the dollar. Produce, use your talents. Using your talent is part of living. And if you use your talent, it'll all come. Law of attraction. But I gotta throw in Pareto's law, the 80-20 rule. Pareto realized that when you plant 20% of the when you plant peas, 80% of what is in his garden was produced from that 20%. Therefore, if we do 20% of the work, which is efficient work, we'll get 80% of the results. We'll get 80% results. So, in my daily routine, I always go into that mindset in which, before I start this, what is the most efficient way to be working? We have to work efficiently in order to live. If we use less time to make better product, it all just comes out the way it's supposed to. We get more for working less and working more efficient. That is the way that life is, working more efficient. But at the same time, once we're done working, we gotta live, and we forget to do that. We become so accustomed to living, just being going on vacations, running away from the problems of the world, whether that be watching TV or doing something that we think makes us happy because it de-stresses us. But the issue that we have because of the stress is the fact that we're not living. And I realized when I actually chose to live and not be under someone else's thumb and use my talents to produce my money, my income, work on my own time, live, I became much happier. A lot of people see that I'm a whole lot happier now that I'm actually living. And we forget to do that. So make sure that you're living. Make sure that you're enjoying yourself. You're enjoying your time. Spend time with your loved ones. I know I try to get out of the house every day just so I can go out and get them rays, like I said earlier, those sun rays, but also to go get other energy from other people, because we are all one. So if I'm giving good energy into the universe, I'm going to get good energy back. And that's just part of me being authentic. I work towards that every day. That authenticity, giving off that positive energy. Once again, love, highest frequency that anybody could be on. Make sure you express that love every day, all day. And then that brings us to number 10. And that is being grateful. This goes back to the idea of being on that highest frequency. Gratitude being, if not right under love, somewhere up there. But it is part of that it's under love. And therefore you need love to be expressing that gratitude. When I listened to Erykah Badu's song on Return of the Ankh, love was on there. And it was a wonderful quote that I'm going to have to give you. All of our emotions operate on two frequencies, love and hate. They say love conquers all. So why don't we love? If we love, everybody will begin to elevate. I know that once I decided to love at all times during the day, I even got a gratitude journal where every day I write down one thing that I'm grateful for, whether it be abstract or material. And just expressing that gratitude, expressing that love took me so much further. It heightened my frequency and it gave me a better light. People see the light that I have because I'm grateful. And Thanksgiving is every day for me. So it's not just one day out of the year followed by Black Friday. No, it's not. It's every day for me. When people thank me for whatever I've done, I always thank them back because they gave me the opportunity to be present at that moment in their life so we can have an exchange of energy. So get on that love frequency on an everyday basis, on an every moment basis. Love yourself, love others, love all things, love what you're doing. So that way we can always be throwing a party. We come out here, the world be our party, and we just all going like, woo! Keem SDC with you, PLH, peace, love, and happiness all day, every moment, every second, every minute, every hour, all the time. PLH, peace, love, and happiness. Keem SDC with you, over and out. Peace.